We're gonna show you the van tour today. It's happening, okay? Welcome to MTV My Crib. This week on Keeping Up with Sue, you're gonna see the entire van, so let's get into it. So I'm gonna start out with the outside of the van. So we have a vent for our fridge. Our fridge can run off gas or electric. If we have the door open, it runs on gas, pulls air into the fridge, and that's how it cools the fridge. Most of the time we run it on electric, but lately we've been having electric issues, so yay for us. We've got beer here because Nico has beer all over the van, and you'll see that in a minute. I put a little rug here at the entrance for rainy days or muddy days. Also, shoe storage. I just use the back of the seats for shoe storage, and I use the back of the chairs for our personal bags. Okay, so we're not rich enough to afford a compost and toilet because they're like, what, $1,000? So we just have a regular porta potty. I think it was like 70 bucks. Best investment ever. We have a shower head in here, and we have a water heater in here also. So we do have hot water, but we usually don't use it because it pulls a lot of electric. Some hooks to hang some things, and that's about it. Pretty simple shower here. So as soon as you walk into the van, you have this. It is a pull-out. Okay. Yeah. So this is my favorite part of the van. It is a pull-out shelf here that we have, and I have all my skincare things, body wash, toothpaste, everything you could think of goes in here. It's the best part of the van. So we actually just saw a video on YouTube where a couple could not find their fire extinguisher, and the bottom of their van was like smoking and on fire. Luckily they had friends there, and their friends were able to loan their fire extinguisher, but this is so important to us. So definitely need to have this accessible at all times. Up here we have an overhead bin. A lot of people usually build this overhead compartment in. Our van came with it, so we were lucky enough to have this come with the van, and Nico just built this over it. We built a little door, and in here we just keep towels and sweaters and any extra things that we might need for the van. Moving on, when you walk into the van, above the door, we'll show you now, we have our controls. So there's a light switch, and this one turns on the water pump. We're missing something here, so totally ignore the aesthetic of that, but this is our battery percentage for the solar panels, well, our energy. Moving on to the kitchen. So we originally had a different stovetop here, but it's not legal in Germany, so we were forced to spend an extra $200 for this one. Yay! We have a utensils drawer here, just your average utensils. I like to cook a lot, so the kitchen's like one of my favorite things. We have a Dometic fridge. Couldn't picture my life without it, so shout out to Dometic. Our sink, pretty simple stuff, nothing fancy. Down here, under the sink, we have just your usual storage. We actually just added these on because before there was no kind of organization in here. We have our bin, and yeah, all your essentials, condiments, cleaning products. And this locks when we're driving so it doesn't come out. And this one, we have beer. We have a lot of beer. And we have beer in the back of the car.
It's probably not yours.
No. Nico's German, go figure. And we have pots, pans, all this. This is actually really cool. This is Nico's grandmother's and his late grandmother, and it's a coffee grinder, so it's super vintage. You just put your coffee beans in here, you grind it, and you get coffee. This is awesome. It's like 80 years old probably. Funny story with the tiles in the back. So these were stickers that we ordered from Amazon, and halfway through sticking them on, I ran out. So I went upstairs, I got his printer, his scanner. We photocopied the same pattern, and I don't know if you can tell, they're different shades of green, but these actually come from a printer. And then we just waterproofed it with a layer over it. You gotta be creative sometimes. We got this in Germany. And I have like a fruit basket here that I have hanging, and surprisingly this doesn't fall when we drive. Like, I'm always wondering, like, how do people have hanging flowers and plants in their vans? Like, do they take that down every single time they drive? Because that's a little bit tedious and it's annoying. Surprisingly, this fruit basket does not fall. So up above here we have the kitchen cabinets. So I usually have these locks up here. We installed baby locks in them, and they have like a little sticker to tell you where it is. So right now this is locked because we just got done driving. You just put this here and it unlocks. So yeah, this is just one of our pantries. If we're not driving, we usually unlock it here, and we don't need to use the magnet anymore. It just opens. Same thing for this one. We have another kitchen cabinet. I'm gonna unlock it. Nico has his coffee in here. We've got some salt, tea, all my vitamins are up here, and just some bowls and mugs. This is our sleeping area. This is the most important part of the van. This is where all the magic happens. Originally we were gonna have the bed facing this way. We were gonna have it this way, but we would lose out on so much space doing that. And I think for that reason, a lot of other vans have their beds going in this direction. For that reason, we didn't cover this part of the wall. If you can see here, the wall just has a fabric that Nico's mom put in, and right behind it is our insulation, which we use Armaflex. Nico's 178 centimeters. I don't use that metric system. I use inches. So I am 5 feet 7 inches, and we both fit perfectly on this bed this way. Here, I'll show you. Ta-da!
Beautiful.
Another cool thing about this bed is that we never use this, by the way. We never ever use this feature, but it actually pops up here. So there's well, would you look at that? The bed.
That bed looks like in a hospital.
It looks a little awkward. If you guys are thinking about putting some sort of reclining thing on your bed, don't do it because it's pointless. Oh, also here on the in the bedroom area, there's also this that nobody knows about, and you just, oh, I can never lift this up, but it leads to the garage.
Yeah, garage.
The garage.
Hold it.
I can't. That's normally Nico's job. He goes down there to deal with whatever electrical. Up here, we have 4 overhead drawers. That's always a surprise. Not really. So Nico gets 2 and I get 2. This is our dining room table. Creative, right? It collapses when you need more space, and it pops up when you're ready to eat. Let me just show you how this table works. So usually there is a stick behind the table, and you just stick it in here. Ta-da! We've got a window here to let in some air whenever we want. That's always nice. So whenever we're eating or working or anything, we've got the nice air coming in through the window. Another cool thing about the dining room area is this part. This is also one of my favorite things about the van. Nico's mom constructed this entire thing. Well, his dad built the chair and his mom did these, like, custom made these cushions, and they're awesome. So in here we have more storage. On the right hand side we have food. On the left hand side we just have extra clothes or anything that we don't use as often on a daily basis, but it's still here. Lots of snacks and food. This storage area holds so much. Like, when you're in a van, space is everything, okay? If you don't have a lot of space, you need one of these in the van, okay? This is like, it's a 2-in-1. It's a storage compartment and it's a chair. What more could you want? This is awesome. Here behind this table, we've just got some decoration. I gifted this to Nico for his birthday last year. It's just the map of Germany, and it's got bottle cap holders. So of course, being the alcoholic that he is, he's already started to fill it up. I'm actually surprised it's not that filled. Here, I put this wall here recently just because the van had entirely too much white and it was way too flat. Here we just add our postcards and anything that we collect while traveling. We've got a picture that you can barely see from Oktoberfest. Our friend gave us this when he visited Norway. We were really drunk in Barcelona in a photo booth and took that picture. We bought this in Barcelona. This is from Paris. We got this one in Switzerland. I paid 6 euros. 6 euros for this postcard. What the fuck? That's so much money! And here's a family picture of Nico's family. Oh, I'm just gonna collapse the table. This is a really cool thing that we discovered after the van was built, and we had no idea, but now we know. And if we want to have a third person in here, we can, and they'd be pretty comfortable, I'd say. This comes out. The back board comes out. This comes out. This one also comes out. It's velcroed on to the wall. Ta-da! That comes out. This would act as the first layer of cushion, and it fits perfectly. It just comes together like a puzzle. And so if we wanted to have a third person in the van, we would just give you this and maybe like a sleeping bag, some comforters, and we have a spare bed. So, funny story with this. This is actually in my van build video that I uploaded last week, but this was all like a very nude color. It was like a light tan color. And I wanted it to be brown because I didn't want a modern van. I wanted like a vintage cabin aesthetic, which we don't have. But I bought wood paint, what I thought was wood paint. It was actually a wood stain. So I applied it wrong. I applied it as paint, and I was supposed to actually apply it on and wipe it off. So it's supposed to actually look like wood. And this looks like a shriek. It's yes, like if you saw like what paint. It's actually supposed to look like. This was a big mess up, and I was pretty depressed over it for some time, but it grew on me.
Yes, exactly.
Can't do anything about it. When life gives you wood paint, make the best of it, I guess. What else? Let's move on to the garage. It's a little untidy here because Nico was working on the electric system earlier. It is a complete mess back here, but we actually have so much space. We're able to fit 2 bicycles, drinking water. We have a diesel heater that actually heats up the van. I forgot to mention that earlier. This thing is great. You just put some diesel in there. You can survive like a super cold Russian winter with this thing. We've got our reflectives, life jacket because I can't swim. Toilet paper. Our fresh water tank is in the side of the van, and our electrical system is back there. We use a gas to cook in the van, and this is our gas bottle. So whenever we need to cook, we just come back here and turn the gas on. If we don't need to cook, then we just close that. This somehow sets up.
Easy.
Here's the bottom. Then you take out this. You know? No, put this down.
Yep.
Put this down.
Master at work. You are watching Master at work.
He built the van. He better know this.
So this is your hero. Builder, Bob the Builder.
Bob the
Nico.
Builder, can we build it?
And then you take this, put it under here, and then you can, like, you know, make as high as you want, huh? And then lock it, just like this.
Nice work, brother. Give me a punch. Boom. Good project. You are lady more than happy, I see.
Alrighty, so that concludes the van tour. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And be sure to stick around for our adventures because we're going to Morocco soon. I will see you next week on the next one. Ciao.